Hey, what's up guys? Always a great weekend when I get to strap in, sit here and talk with you guys about the latest Apple developments. So we have another round to go. By the way, what's going on here? So this is an actual Audi seat. I thought it'd be only appropriate to have a seatbelt on it. A lot of people have been asking me about it. I built this chair, imported it, just so you know. So today I have an exclusive Apple leak to share with you. The iPhone 11 design is changing yet again and some new developments. And I wanted to recap everything we know. So I actually met a fan in the airport and she was like, you know, I love your videos, but you need to make a video where you compound everything together. We've been talking about so much stuff, so I wanted to throw it all into one video. By the way, if you guys see me in public, literally say hello. There's no reason not to. I will love to say hello to you. I see a lot of people messaging me later. I saw you here, but I was too scared to say hi. There's no reason. Just come say hi. Anyways, let's get to it. So the 2019 iPhone with the square lens design is back. I don't know how this happened, but Makatakara is reporting that that is the iPhone 11 design, or if it'll be called the iPhone 11. We're going to talk about the naming today too. Apparently, Apple has backtracked on the cyborg Android design and have reverted to the square lens. I'm not sure what happened internally, but the latest development from Makatakara is saying this is it. So the design changes a little bit. If we take a look, before the design was asymmetrical. All the lenses were all over the place. It didn't really make much sense from a design standpoint. Now it looks like they've taken that and sharpened the lens, and it really is starting to look like something Apple could ship on the brand new iPhones. The lenses are now symmetrical inside the lens enclosure with the flash. They treat the flash as if it was a lens. They put it in the corner there. I really like that. This is so much better to me than a center-mounted Android or Samsung-looking lens. There's nothing wrong with that. It just looks out of place on the iPhone where they've always been in the corner. So a square lens definitely does change things up, makes it look fresh, but not necessarily a good change for most people. Most people don't like this design. I personally like it better than the other one. Makatakara in the reports, I translated it, I was trying to read it. From what I can make out, basically they've already prepared accessories and cases. So Apple has actually solidified this design and they've begun designing cases around it with a very large cutout for that camera. We're 3D printing this model right now and I'll have that for you in the next video, but it's a drastic change. It's a huge lens. Like, it makes this one look tiny. So I'm excited to share that with you, but this is the design of the 2019 iPhone according to Makatakara. And personally, I think there's a conspiracy going on here. Apple might be leading a campaign to misguide people. Again, this is just my speculation, but with the amount of rumors that are conflicting with each other, which one is the real one? Maybe Apple realizes they can't handle the leaks, so might as well muddle the waters and make it unclear. Who knows? That's just my prediction. And I've got another exclusive leak for you from Max Weinbach. So iOS 13, we talked about the dark mode and how it'll be delayed until 13.1 beta. Now Max Weinbach is reporting Apple is accelerating that feature after all to make it for the initial iOS 13 beta. So very likely this will be shown at the event. It will be shown alongside the iPhone 11, which is fitting. I thought it very strange that Apple would overlook such a big feature that they could use for marketing on the iPhone 11. And this is supposedly because of an unforeseen change where competitors of Apple are accelerating their dark mode or night mode features on their phones with improved UIs, and Apple wants to be on top of the game of that. They're only 12 years late. And I've got some very exciting news regarding the next generation of displays on smartphones. So you think that this year was good with the camera cutout? Oh boy, the next few years are going to be amazing. So Samsung, in the Samsung fashion, leading the charge in the latest and greatest development in screen technology. The vice president of the display department is saying that within the next 1 to 2 years, this won't be possible. But past that, we're going to start seeing displays with cameras embedded beneath the display. There will be no visible cutout for that camera sensor, and the possibilities, guys, are truly limitless. You can have a full screen display finally. No more compromises, no more notches, no more camera cutouts. This will be the true technology that Johnny Ive envisioned, but it'll be coming from Samsung. I don't care who does it. Again, I don't care as long as it gets done, and I love that Samsung is leading the charge. They said it won't be out on market sooner than 1 to 2 years. Apple, of course, will see this technology. They're gonna wait to see what everyone else does, and then probably fashionably late introduce a better version of it or whatever, 3 to 4 years from now, 5 years even, with micro LED even possibly, who knows. Quick one I wanted to sneak in there, the iPod Touch 7th generation, supposedly this leaked. I highly doubt this is real. It's a fake CAD, very likely, but it does show an iPad-like design on the iPod Touch 7 with no camera cutout on the screen, so they'd probably embed that in the bezel. I like the idea of this, although it's most likely fake. Okay, and this next one is very cool because it could potentially make its way over to all existing hardware on the iPhones. Apple is working on technology with Face ID that could make Face ID twin-proof. In the early days of the iPhone 10, we heard about all the stories where twins could unlock the phone. If you have an evil twin that's been accessing your phone while you sleep, this could be the solution. There's a new Face ID system that would use the infrared sensor in the notch, which already exists on current hardware, which is why I say this could be adapted to existing phones, to scan your face and the vein structure of your face. Now, this new patent outlines a slightly better way to do this, more efficient way, and again, could potentially be on existing iPhones. But Apple, of course, will probably adapt this into Face ID 2 and then charge more for it. Okay guys, and the main point of this video is I wanted to recap everything we know, like an updated guide on where the AirPods 2 and the iPhone 11 stand right now. So I wanted to start with the naming, and Tom's Guide posted a great article basically highlighting the mess that Apple's about to encounter with the iPhone naming. So they adapted the iPhone XS from the iPhone 10, cool. So what's next? The iPhone 11? That's wrong. There have been 13 iPhones in succession, so it'll be the iPhone 13 if they truly want to call it what it is. It wouldn't be the iPhone 11. Simply doesn't make sense. The structuring of the iPhone naming has always been pretty odd. It never really makes sense, but now it's about to get even stranger. So I'm very curious to see what Apple will do this year. A Reddit user actually pointed out a very great naming structure for this year's iPhone, and this is from Zendroid1. I actually really agree with this. It makes sense. The basic iPhone 11 would be called just iPhone, then the larger one would be called the iPhone Plus or iPhone Max in this case, and then the cheaper iPhone 11R would be just iPhone R. It makes sense for this year, but again, what is Apple going to do for the next one? It's a very confusing structure. Apple has put themselves into a little box here with the naming, and I hope they can figure it out. Okay, so let's begin. The overall lineup will remain the same. We'll have a 5.8 inch, a 6.1, and a 6.5 inch display for the 2019 iPhones. The displays themselves won't be changing. It'll most likely be the same notch. There have been some whispers about a smaller notch, but most recently we've heard that won't be changing. But Face ID will be receiving a generation 2. So Face ID will be improving. It will be faster. 3D Touch will most likely die. Like, this is the year Apple most likely removes it from all their iPhones, most likely to save costs, but people just don't use that feature. You may love it, but on a greater scale, Apple is seeing the feedback they're getting, and most people don't know that feature even exists. And I think that's partly because Apple doesn't market it very well. They definitely could improve that, and it's sad to see it go, but from a cost-saving perspective, it'll be cheaper to manufacture the iPhone without that feature. Apple's got also a new technology where the screen layer will be thinner, and by removing 3D Touch, they'll be able to bring the cost down. The back will be getting a frosted matte coating, very similar to the Apple Pencil 2. The triple lens camera is happening on the largest iPhone, not on the other ones. Without a doubt, it is happening. It's just the orientation of it, the positioning could change. Again, we have those two options, so we'll see which one does prevail in the end. Now on the iPhone, the triple lens camera will introduce a 3x optical zoom. It'll be a better low light performer and most likely have 3D sensing capabilities built into the rear to an extent. It's the 2020 iPhones that'll focus on that for the most part. Inside the iPhone, from a technical standpoint, Apple is mixing things up from what we've heard. A larger battery, it'll be rectangular shaped, so no more L-shaped battery, basically a more efficient internal to give you better battery life. There will be reverse wireless charging to charge other iPhones or your AirPods 2, which will have wireless charging now. As far as USB-C, my most requested feature besides promotion on this year's iPhone, Mac Takara is saying it will happen, Ming Chi Kuo is saying it won't happen, and Steve Over from OnLeaks is saying it won't. So we got a mixed bag here, but knowing Apple, they'll probably hold out on Lightning until they can remove the port altogether. Who knows? Internally, the Apple A13 will still be a 7nm chip, just an improved process to make it more efficient. Will still be made by TSMC. The iPhone will now support ultra-wideband support, so that's navigation for indoors. You will literally be able to use your iPhone to walk around a mall and get directions within an airport or a very large building. That is super cool. Wi-Fi 6 will be happening, 4x4 MIMO will be happening, so the connection part is improving on the iPhone. No 5G support this year though. And the iPhone 11R will keep the LCD display. It'll get a dual lens camera on the rear and 4 GB of RAM to bring it up to par to the speeds of the iPhone XS right now. As far as prices go, we've heard those will stay the same. They won't be getting cheaper, but at least they won't be going up in price. And the AirPods 2, real quick, wanted to bring together all those rumors. So most importantly, I think, is that the texture will be changing. It'll be going from a gloss to a matte texture feeling like the Apple Pencil 2 if you've ever picked it up. It's supposedly getting new colors or a black color at the very least. We've heard a lot about that one. It's probably the most exciting thing about them. Wireless charging will be built in by default. You won't have to buy a separate case like for the original AirPods. And the case itself might be growing in size to accommodate for a larger battery or the wireless charging pad. There will be new functionality. We know that hands-free Siri is 100% happening, that already leaked. There will be some health monitoring features inside. We don't know which sensor this entails, but could be a blood oximetry sensor, it could be a thermometer, or could be a heart rate sensor, which is the least likely because that needs more room to work. Apple will be upgrading the wireless inside. It'll have Bluetooth 5.0 for greater range, and the W2 or W3 chip is supposedly getting put in for faster connectivity and more reliable with the iPhone. So all around, some great updates. As far as price goes, $200 was rumored, and then another source said it'll be staying the same price at $159. We'll definitely see, but that's not too bad. You know, for all the extra stuff you're getting, paying an additional $40 is not a bad price. As far as water resistance goes, we haven't really heard much about AirPods 2. That might be upgraded for AirPods 3, which is set to receive a full redesign either later this year at the end with the iPhone 11 or next year. All right, guys, jam-packed video. I have a lot I want to share with you that I've been working on within the next few weeks, so stay tuned for that. We've got a lot of exciting stuff in store for us. Peace.